What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So as we all know, the OG Anunoby trade happened. OG has been sent to the New York Knicks. In return, RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley are coming to Toronto. Yesterday, we did the OG Anunoby Knicks side of things. Of course, today we're going to be doing the Toronto Raptors side of things, doing a new look Toronto Raptors rebuild and continuing what the Raptors are doing, but of course, also trading Siakam in this video. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We are on the road to 50,000 subs. And if you are new around here and you don't know who I am, of course, my name is Crushables. I do rebuilds here on NBA 2K on YouTube. And the way I like to do rebuilds is I try to keep them as realistic as possible. Now, I do go off the rails sometimes, like off the rails a little bit, but most of the time, I try to stick with the realism ballpark. So if you enjoy like realistic rebuilds, I'm your guy. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about it, man. So let's talk about the trade that happened. So just a reminder, we did the OG Anunoby Knicks side of things yesterday. So if you want to see the OG Anunoby Knicks rebuild, that was uploaded yesterday. And now today we're doing the Toronto Raptors side of things. And this is our last video of 2023. So no better way than to talk about a real life trade, which I feel amazing about. So OG Anunoby, Malachi Flynn, Precious Achiuwa are heading to the Knicks, as we know, for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley in a 2024 second round pick via Detroit, which is most likely going to be, of course, like the 31st pick in the draft. So still pretty solid. Ryan Arcidiacono, obviously not actually in the trade. I just had to throw him in there for salary filler, or just for another player, because that's what 2K likes to. You got to have 3 for 3 or whatever for roster spots. But yeah, that was the trade. So again, if you guys want to know my thoughts, I commented them down below yesterday. But I absolutely love this trade for Toronto. I really do. And for New York, I think their team is still incomplete. So I don't think this moves the needle like crazy for them as far as like being one of the top teams in the East. I love OG Anunoby as an addition, but I still think they need more to compete with like Milwaukee, Boston, of course. But they're on the right path. They are definitely on the right path because they still have like Fournier's expiring contract. Quentin Grimes maybe is a young player teams value, and then they have some picks. So I still think the Knicks aren't done. Toronto, I absolutely love the idea of getting Quickley and RJ Barrett that honestly fit perfectly on Scottie Barnes' timeline, which I love. So you resign Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, back in Canada. He's not obviously not the greatest player in the world. He was a 3rd overall pick. He's solid. He's okay. Like that's just kind of what RJ Barrett is. But I don't think that's a terrible thing to have next to Scottie Barnes. If he's like your 3rd option, I don't think it's or 3rd or 4th option. I don't think it's terrible. Obviously, his contract maybe not the greatest in the world, but I also don't think it's that bad either. Some people are saying it's a bad contract, but it's not a terrible contract. Could be much worse. So let's take a look at this rotation now. So Emmanuel Quickley, I'm not sure if they're going to continue to start Dennis Schroeder or if they're going to start Quickley right away. I have no idea what Toronto plans to do, but I'm going to start IQ because he's part of the future now. So IQ, Gary Trent Jr., Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam. Of course, you're going to move Pascal Siakam as soon as possible. Warning, I do not know what Siakam's trade value is going to be. More than likely, you are not going to agree with the trade that I do at the deadline because someone's going to get upset, and that's just how trades work when we talk about them, right? No one knows what the value is until something is done. But I'll do my very best. They actually want to have RJ Barrett come off the bench. I mean, honestly, I think RJ would play the 2 while Siakam is here, but eventually that could change. So I'll move RJ to the 2. That way he's starting. So that'll be Quickly, RJ, Barnes, Siakam, Jakob Poeltl. So I will see you guys at the deadline to trade. And we're not going to run an 11-man rotation either. That's pretty ugly. So we're going to go to a 9-man rotation. I'll see you guys at the deadline with what we do for Pascal Siakam. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of teams interested. So Toronto should get some good value for Siakam. We'll see what we get when we get there. But today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. If you've never heard of Prize Picks, basically how it works is you choose between 2 to 6 players, 2 players being 3 times their entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times their entry. They not only have basketball, of course, they have NFL, they have soccer, they have like esports on here, they have tennis. They got all kinds of stuff. So basically, you choose a stat, and then you click more or less on the projection. So if we think Gafford's scoring over 12.5, we click more on that projection. If we want to scroll all the way down, I think Jaylen Brown's going to be more on his points. You simply click more on the projection. It's that simple. If you want to sign up for Prize Picks, gives you an extra sweat while you watch sports. I absolutely love it. Been using it since 2021. If you want to sign up for Prize Picks, use my code down in the description below. They match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. You can't beat it. Sign up for Prize Picks. It's a ton of fun. And the tool I use on Prize Picks is DJF's correlation tool and also optimizer tool, but mainly the correlation tool because correlation in football is such a crazy edge right now on Prize Picks. So basically how it works is you choose this slip, or you just basically take a slip and you put it in. So basically Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa, if they're going to complete passes, then more than likely their receivers are benefiting off of that. So Obviously, the simplest way you can do that is you can just put Lamar's yards, Tua's yards, and then put like 2 receivers from each team and put over on their yards. And then if Lamar and Tua are throwing for a lot of yards, and more than likely the receivers are benefiting off that. Football is such a correlated sport. I'm not kidding when I tell you guys, since I've fully committed to using this tool, I've almost made $1,000 off of it. That's how crazy this tool is. If you've been using it since August 18th, it is up since 751.6 units. It's actually such a game changer. So if you want to check these tools out, link is down in the description below. I also have their YouTube channel down in the description below as well. Check them out. Use my code to sign up if you want to. Thank you to DGF also for sponsoring today's video along with Prize Picks. All right, we have made it to the trade deadline. We are 22-29, which was to be expected, of course, but here we are. We're going to trade Pascal Siakam. So let's just go ahead and talk about the 3 teams. There aren't 3 teams necessarily. There's probably going to be a lot of teams interested in them. But the main 2 teams that pop up in my head immediately are like obviously the Pacers and also the Kings. Like those are 2 teams that I think would very, very much love nothing more than to have Pascal Siakam. So we're going to try to build a trade with one of those 2. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting someone else. I know there's probably, other than Atlanta. Atlanta's another one. Atlanta's obviously been hot on Toronto's tail a long time for Pascal Siakam. Now, as far as Atlanta's concerned, I'm not really sure because like they're going to trade them DeJounte Murray apparently. I don't really want DeJounte Murray on this team, to be honest with you. So I don't think I'll make a trade with Atlanta today. I think I'm going to try to do it with either the Kings or the Pacers. So I think the last time I did something with the Pacers and the Raptors is I did trade with the Pacers. So let's try to trade him to the Sacramento Kings. So let's see what the Kings could give me for Siakam. So of course they're going to have to match salaries somehow. So it's probably going to have to include Harrison Barnes' contract, which isn't great. But if we are going to take on his contract, then maybe we're getting more, we'll see what we can build here. So Pascal Siakam for Barnes, obviously not good enough. Now I think Masai Ujiri is going to ask for Keegan Murray. I don't know if the Kings are going to be willing to do that. I don't think they should be willing to do that. I think that's a little too much to put on the table. But, like, I mean, Davion Mitchell is like another young player they have that's got 2 years of team control and a small contract still. And then you need $10 more million in this trade. So, like, a 25-year-old Kevin Huerter or a Trey Lyles. So let's say Trey Lyles in here. And then does, like, I don't know, does Colby Jones move the needle? And then you give me like 2 firsts, I think is what I would want if I'm Masai, because not only are you not getting like crazy good value, but you are taking on Barnes' contract. So let's try something like this to start things off. So we're going to throw like Garrett Temple, and then although Arcidiacono obviously not really on the Raptors, and it looks like our Kings would acquire 1.67 more million than allowed. So we're going to have to include somebody else in Colby Jones. Let's say it's Duarte. Again, just kidding. This trade is illegal now. And then I can't throw Grady Dick in there. That's not going to be Koloko, Thad Young. It's going to be too much money. All right. So we're going to have to try something else. So Trey Lyles, that's exactly what we need in this trade. So Barnes, Davion Mitchell, Trey Lyles. And then we're going to need, okay. So like I could throw Koloko in this trade. That's still not enough. Okay. Right now, building a trade with, Sacramento is not, easy. McGee. Does McGee being in this trade? I don't think that's going to matter actually. Koloko. Okay. I don't really want to have to throw Koloko in this trade, so I'm going to try to do this without Koloko. Let's say we can find a way to make an Otto Porter. They're going to have to throw someone else who's making a bunch of money on this team. Sasha? Nope, not going to happen. Okay, so far we're not off to a great start. Let's say it's Huerter. Let's go all the way to Kevin Huerter. I doubt they'd say yes to this. Like, this is probably a lot of value for Sacramento to give up, but if I'm Masai Ujiri, I'm looking for something like this. What do they say? They say no. Of course they say no. Okay, I'll give you the 2nd round pick we got from Detroit and another 2nd. And then if they say no to this, then I'm cool on it. They don't agree. Okay. Trying to build a trade in Sacramento is not going to work. Let's just maybe talk to another team about Siakam. I'll come back to you when I have a trade. What if Miami decided to jump in on the Siakam sweepstakes? They could use a power forward anyway. I feel like Siakam would be someone that'd be willing to resign in Miami, most likely. Miami is obviously a place people love to be at. So here's the trade. We're not getting like a crazy amount of like good. I mean, actually, I like this value a lot. If you get 3 firsts might be too rich for expiring Siakam. I don't truly know what his value is going to be, guys. I really don't. I could build a trade out with the Indiana Pacers, but I did kind of do a video on that. So I'm going to try to change it up and not do that. I tried to build a trade with Sacramento, but it proved really hard. I've also done a video on the Atlanta thing. So 2 first-round picks, Nikola Jovic, like, I don't know. Is that enough? They say they don't want to take on the extra salary. I'll give you this Pistons pick to do so. Actually, I want to keep that Pistons pick anyway. I'll give you a couple seconds, and we're still not really getting anywhere. 3 seconds. Okay. I mean, at this, I feel like I really feel like Miami would have to do this trade, right? If we can't get Nikola Jovic, what about Thomas Bryant has more value, doesn't he? Okay, so again, they're not interested in Pascal Siakam. I am struggling to trade Siakam, and he's supposed to be like a really coveted player. Okay, we can't do it with Miami. I'll try one more team. All right, we're trying it with Dallas now. Let's see if we can get Pascal Siakam over to the Dallas Mavericks. We got 2 firsts and Josh Green is the value we're basically looking for here. Maybe a first for an expiring Siakam. Maybe you could even get 3 firsts because you're taking on Hardaway's contract. I don't know. I'm just trying to get Siakam off this team. They want Emmanuel quickly. Of course, I'm not doing that. We're not going to do that. So let's say we threw you this couple second-round picks here. What do you say to that? IQ is not going in this trade. I promise you that. I will give you McDaniels. I don't know if that's going to do anything for them. They're still going to say no. 3 seconds. They're going to say no. Okay. Let's say it's not Josh Green. They don't want to give up Josh Green. Let's say it's Kleba instead, although I would prefer if it was Josh Green, but whatever. They want a second-round pick. That Detroit pick, I want to keep it, of course, but if I'm not going to get too upset over the 31st overall pick. So, man, as much as I think this should be Josh Green in this trade instead of Kleba, I guess we'll just settle. This is honestly not very good. I'm not going to lie. Actually, I hate this, man. You know what? Screw it. I'm making the decisions here. I feel like if Dallas could get Pascal Siakam with Kyrie and Luka, they should do it. You're giving me Josh Green, and it is a done deal. So we're going to do this trade with Josh Green no matter what. I don't care what the Mavericks are saying about this. I'm trying to get Siakam off this damn team, and I still think this is pretty decent value for both teams. If you disagree, that's fine. I understand. But we're making this trade happen. I'm not putting Quickly in this trade, and we're going to make this trade work. So, Emmanuel Quickly's making like $4 million. They want somebody who's making like, take McDaniels. What are they trying to give me in return? I don't even know. Just give me Markieff Morris, and that doesn't even work. McDaniels making too much money. Let's see. Grady Dick, I'm not throwing him in here. Otto Porter's made too much. I'm making this trade happen. I don't care. Man, most of this video was spent on trying to get Siakam off the team. That took a while, but we got it done. So Siakam is not in Toronto anymore. He is on the Knicks, and I think that's fantastic for them. We're going to slide RJ Barrett down to the 2, or down to the 3, I should say. I'm going to move Barnes down to the 4. I guess we actually, you know what? We're going to leave it. We're going to actually leave it the way it was. So RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly is going to be Chris Boucher starting for the rest of the season. Hardaway, Schroeder, Gary Trent, Thad Young, and that leaves Josh Green completely out of the rotation, which I absolutely hate. I think Josh Green is a really good get for Toronto if they're willing to, or if they're able to get him. I don't know if Dallas is going to be interested in Siakam, but I think that'd be honestly a really good pairing if they decided to be interested in him. So, but we're going to roll with this for the rest of the season. Obviously, our goal is to not be very good, but I'm very excited about the trade we just made. Jakob Poeltl is still someone the Raptors could sell as well. I still think you could maybe fetch a first for him, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I will just see you guys in the offseason. I'm just glad Siakam's finally gone. All right, so we're just going to skip right through these playoffs because we spent a lot of time at that deadline just simply trying to get rid of Siakam. But here were your end of the season stats. Scotty Barnes, obviously stats are going to look a lot better next year. RJ Barrett ends with 18.5 leading the way. Let's go ahead and submit the playoffs and let's see who's going to go all the way to win a championship. You got Atlanta out of nowhere making it, Miami, and then Dallas. Did they even get in the playoffs? They did not. Even after they trade for Siakam, they don't even make the playoffs, which is insane to me. But Heat Lakers, you're going to have the Lakers go on and win the championship. They beat the Heat in 7 games. All right. Haslem retires. No LeBron James retirement. Let's go to the lottery. So, draft lottery. Obviously, we're going to be here. We're projected pick number... What pick are projected? I don't even see us for some reason. Oh, wow. Number 9. Okay. So, the 76ers have our pick. I still think that's wrong. I'm not sure why 2K has it like that. I could be tripping, but I don't think the 76ers have anything to do with Toronto's pick. I think it's all about the Spurs. Not sure why that is the case. Pretty sure it's like top something protected. We'll see what happens. So, it is going to go to the 76ers, although, again, I think that should be going to the Spurs. So, I might fix that because I don't think the 76ers should even have our pick, but maybe 2K is correct. I don't know. Jazz get number 1. I'm going to check in on that, though. Darko, we're going to keep him as the head coach. Obviously, he's only been here for 1 year, and we're in a rebuild now, or a little bit of a retool / rebuild. I still think we're on a great path anyway with the Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett additions. I think we'll be fine. But let me double check this pick. I don't remember what Toronto's protections are on this draft pick. For some reason, something tells me it's like top 10 protected, but it also might just be top 5. I have to double check. It was actually neither. It's top 6 protected. So I went ahead and fixed that, as you guys can see at the transaction report at the bottom. But we went ahead and fixed that. And then as far as draft picks are concerned, we obviously have the Detroit pick. So let's jump in and see what we can get with our early 2nd round pick. I wonder who Detroit got better than. Milwaukee, I guess. I don't know. Cody Williams, Kwame Evans, Xavier Booker. I'll just take Xavier Booker here. So that will be our draft. Not too much to say about that one. Welcome to the team, Xavier Booker. Player option, Rashawn Holmes does accept qualifying offers. We have Emmanuel Quickly, who obviously we're going to be looking to re-sign. And then free agency, we got obviously Emmanuel Quickly as a free agent. I think that's pretty much it. We went ahead and extended Gary Trent Jr. at the deadline, so he is brought back. But Schroeder, of course, is our backup point guard for now. We can still sell him. RJ Barrett, Gary Trent, again, I extended him. Grady Dick is someone who I'm very high on being a part of this core. Josh Green, high on him now. He also fits Barnes' timeline perfectly. And right now, we technically don't have a power forward. So if we're going to continue to roll with RJ Quickly as our backcourt with Barnes at the 3, we don't really have our 4. Jakob Poeltl is not going to be the long-term center, but I'm not in a rush to get rid of him either. And then Koloko could probably be the backup 5. I think he'll develop enough. So right now, we're pretty much looking for our power forward of the future. We don't have it. Obviously, we could just play Barnes and start Josh Green. We could move Barnes to the 4. We may do that. We'll see. Because we do have some small forward options here. But right now, I think I'm just going to focus on re-signing Emmanuel Quickly. I don't really see anything too crazy that I'm going to try to do. So I don't know what Emmanuel Quickly is going to get in the offseason, but I'm going to guess it's around 15 to 25. I'm going to guess in that ballpark. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign him to that. So welcome back to Toronto, Emmanuel Quickly. And then we don't have a lot of money to do anything crazy. One thing we do have, though, is some expiring contracts. We do have some expiring contracts. We obviously just got 2 picks in that Mavericks trade. So, I mean, if we wanted to, we could be buyers at the deadline. It depends on how the team's doing, obviously. But let's just go straight to player progression because we're not getting anything else from free agency, it's looking like. So, player progression, we're going to have Barnes up to an 89, RJ up to an 83. Probably could go up more if we move him to the 3, of course. Tim Hardaway is up. You got Emmanuel Quickly up. Gary Trent up. Koloko is up, which is great. And then Josh Green doesn't move at all, which is kind of disappointing. But Rashawn Holmes, Grady Dick also move. So we could move Grady Dick to the 3, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do. Because I know he goes up and he's tall enough that he can play that position. So he's going to go up to 74. So nothing too crazy, but I'll move him there anyway. We're going to decide. I'm not sure what I want to do with this lineup just yet. But we're not in a huge rush to obviously turn this team into a contender overnight. But I'm still feeling very good about what our core is. I really do. Like Gary Trent, Barnes, obviously Quickly, RJ. Like I really like this squad that we have going for us. RJ Barrett, also kind of a stud in 2K. So technically, we kind of have our 1-2 punch already as it is in Barnes and RJ. I wouldn't be too surprised if this team was decent next year. I'm going to cut Marquise Noel, unfortunately. But right now, Power Kings are on us 20th overall. So not one of the worst teams in the league, which is great. But here is what your rotation would look like. So they still want to start Chris Boucher, which I think is kind of disgusting. I don't really want to start Boucher. Jakob Poeltl, Tim Hardaway, and that's another expiring contract we have. We have so many expiring contracts, man. Which obviously we could use to take on terrible contracts with draft picks if we wanted to. So there's a lot of things we can do here. Josh Green, Grady Dick are still not going to get minutes here. I do want to get Josh Green involved. I think we traded for him to be a big part of this rotation. So I think we are going to go ahead and move RJ to the 3. We're going to move Barnes to the 4. I just think this is going to make much more sense. And then Josh Green, I'm going to leave him at the 3, but I want to start him at the 2. I think that's kind of how, or we could even, start Gary Trent, which is fine too. So quickly, Gary Trent, RJ, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Hardaway, Schroeder, Koloko, and then Josh Green, which I think is perfect. So that is going to be the rotation. And then we can go ahead and send Grady Dick to the G League again. Which I think would, benefit him well. And then we can do the same thing with Xavier Booker, we just drafted. So that is going to be rotation. We'll see how this team does. Obviously, this team is not going to look the same next year. Guys like Schroeder, Hardaway, Chris Boucher, Rashawn Holmes, that's a bunch of expiring salaries. So I might see at the deadline. I might not. I'll just feel it out. I'll see. If, we need to be buying and this team is decent, then maybe we, go all in. So I do want to look at shot tendencies as well. Barnes' shot tendency is just way too low. Obviously, he's going to be the guy here now that Siakam's gone and OG's gone. And then RJ at 85 feels right. And then quickly 79 is great too. So I'll see you guys either at the deadline or at the end of year number 2. We're at the deadline once again at 22 and 29. And I think it's pretty important we set ourselves up for the future. So the way what I mean by that is I think we should trade these guys that are on expiring contracts to teams that could use them. So like Hardaway, who's averaging 12 points. I think a contending team could use him. Schroeder, someone who I think a lot of contending teams wouldn't mind as well. Rashawn Holmes, obviously not going to be as valuable. Boucher, maybe could fetch just a second, but this is basically to try to increase our asset pool. And then in the offseason, we can either sign a free agent. We have to resign Barnes. But one thing we set ourselves up here is, and then Jakob Poeltl is another guy we could sell here at the moment if we want to, but his contract is still decent enough that I don't really have to move on from him just yet. I'm actually cool with just keeping him. But what we can do eventually is maybe go all in on a certain player with all these assets that we have once we are, ready to cash in. So I'm going to start with Schroeder. I think he could fetch us a first on the market. So let's see if some team is willing to give us a first round pick for Dennis Schroeder. So, or just, any assets that looks good. So Terrence Mann in a first round pick. Like the Clippers want Dennis Schroeder. I'm kind of cool with that. I think we could do something like that. Clarkson in a first. We take on Clarkson's contract. This is actually perfect because basically the Jazz are getting off Clarkson's contract. They take on an expiring Schroeder, and maybe they value him as well. I don't hate that. I think we might come back to that. So let's see what else we got just in case. I think we're going to do that trade. What was that other one? Naz Reid in a second. We can take Naz Reid. He's a great player. But I am going to go ahead and do this trade with the Jazz. We're going to get Clarkson, who is a contract that we can use potentially at next year's deadline to throw, obviously, a big, go all in on a trade. You need salaries to make a trade. So I'm going to do this trade and collect another first. So Clarkson, welcome to Toronto. You're going to be here for a little bit. Next player. Again, we could trade Jakob Poeltl. I might look into it. Let's just see what Jakob Poeltl would fetch me if I did move him right now, if I decided to. So let's see. Trade finders finally popping up. Okay. Do we get a first? So Derek White, he's playing out of his mind for the Celtics right now. Plus, we'd have to trade a first. I'm not doing that. We have a top 5 protected pick. Okay. We definitely need to make sure we are tanking. Or I'll have to look into that. Hold on. What else? Desmond Bane. Yeah, it'd be cool to get Desmond Bane, but we got Kevin Huerter. So that's another contract that'd be taken on. The bonus in Jakob Poeltl, though, I don't think that's the best fit in the world, so probably won't do that. CJ McCollum. So that's a bad contract we can take on. We get a lot of protected Pelicans pick. CJ McCollum's contract is atrocious. I don't know if I want to take it on, though. I don't think I can, especially for a lot of protected pick. That's a little too crazy. Kelly Olynyk in a first. The Thunder pair Chet and Jakob Poeltl. Like I said, I'm not in a huge rush to move Jakob Poeltl, though, so I think I'll hang on to him. The other guy that I was thinking about was Boucher. I don't think he commands a first. I think a second would be great. Caruso, though, obviously can fetch his own first on the market. Kleba in a second, so like Boucher. That's a bad contract that we can have, or salary. It's salary, not like, it's still a decent contract. What else? Quickly, Hardaway. Okay, Hardaway was the other guy. I forgot about him. So, Hardaway's the last guy I think we'll move here. And then we should get a first for him and we'll be done. We'll be done at this deadline. So Hardaway, let's see what pops up. Hopefully someone is willing to give me a first. So Strus in a first, that's salary. Again, we're setting ourselves up for that big trade in the future. A lot of protected Heat pick. So yeah, I'm going to get a trade done here 100%. Just keep looking. So KCP and a expiring. I'm not too worried about the expiring contract. Zach Collins, I actually love him as part of the core. But Tim Hardaway on the Spurs doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Gafford. So I think we're going to take a look at this Cavaliers trade where we get Strus. Even Norman Powell isn't terrible. If the Clippers wanted to get off Norman Powell, we take on his contract. We get a lottery protected or a 2029 first round pick. That could be very valuable in the future. So you know what? We're going to do this trade. We're going to bring Norman Powell back to Toronto, and that is the final trade we're doing. So this team's going to be a little funky. We got like Powell, who can still play great. Clarkson, who's still very good. Josh Green, Kleba. But I'm feeling good. We got some picks. We got some salary that we can use in the future. I think we've set ourselves up to be very successful with whatever trade we decide to do next. And I want to look at something because, so our pick, 2025. Okay, so we do own our own pick. I'm not sure what that type, or I think it was just suggesting we protect our pick top 5 in that trade, which I'm not going to do. But we have a Mavericks in 2026. We have a Mavericks in 2028. We have a swap with the Cavaliers in 2028. We've definitely increased our asset pool. I will see you guys at the end of year 2. All right, so at the end of year 2, you got Luka winning MVP, averaging 36 points per game. The man is just amazing, of course, as we know. We once again did not make the playoffs. We were a lot better than I wanted us to be, though. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised because we took back some decent players at the deadline. So, like, Gary Trent with 12. We extended him once again. Clarkson with 11, Norman Powell with 11, and then, like, 8 and 11 from Jakob Poeltl and almost 2 blocks, 5 from Josh Green. 4.5 from Koloko, who we also extended. So, we have a bunch of salary. And again, we have all these picks. So we can make the trade as soon as this offseason if we wanted to, but it all depends on who's on the market. So Pistons and Kings in the finals. Pistons go on to win the championship, which is, they got their first win in forever tonight against the Raptors, funny enough. LeBron James retires in Utah. That's pretty funny, but we'll leave it. Draft lottery time. So unfortunately, our pick is not going to be as worse as I wanted it to be. We're projected 9th best odds at number 1. Of course, I would love the luck of jumping up to number 1. Rockets get number 1 and number 3. So Houston's going to be a problem, but we get number 9. Okay. Staff signing. We got Darko, which I'm going to keep. All right. So do we want to make the trade right now is the question. I would have to really look at, we got to consider who fits next to Scotty Barnes. Do they fit the timeline? Do they accelerate us to where we want to be? Like, all that has to be in question. But, like, there's nobody that's off limits. I think we can almost get anybody we want if we really, truly tried hard enough. So, taking a look. So, like, Houston, they have guys like Jalen Green, Şengün, but they're all expiring right now, so it'd be really hard to get them anyway. The Spurs, they have Wemby, of course, but why would they move Wemby? The Suns, I mean, they were terrible. I think Devin Booker would be, getting Devin Booker and putting him on this team would really accelerate our timeline like crazy. I'll put it in the back pocket, but I don't love it. I'll be honest with you. We could bring Shea to Canada, but he's untouchable. Rightfully so. The Timberwolves were bad last year. I mean, Anthony Edwards is the type of guy that would almost be perfect, obviously. I guess if Minnesota was going to have to trade him, I don't know if he's the kind of guy that would request a trade, but they are selling, and he's on the team. So you have to look at him, and he has to be a guy you consider. So Edwards is going on the list. The Blazers have like Shaedon Sharpe, who is from Canada as well. But he's not on a big contract. Simons, Clay, Steph, don't want either of them at this point. Wizards, nobody. 76ers, Bucks. Of course, the Bulls have DeRozan, bring him back to Toronto, or Zach LaVine. Not really interested in either of them. We got, John Morant, Trae Young. Gonna be Trae Young to Toronto. Murray. Just keep looking. So right now, I'm really intrigued by Anthony Edwards, honestly. I think Edwards is the guy that would be the one I'd go all in on. Again, and then we can get AD, but I don't really want him. Paulo Banchero, let's just keep looking just in case. Mikal Bridges. You got like Halliburton, Pelicans with Zion become available. I mean, Zion also is the kind of guy but Barnes and Zion, I don't really love the fit there. So, honestly, man, Anthony Edwards is the guy. I think if there was anybody that you would go all in on that's available right now, it would be Anthony Edwards. And this team is good enough that I think we can do it. And I definitely think we have the assets to pull it off. Wow, Siakam went to Philadelphia. So, Dallas lost him for nothing. I mean, obviously, they're trading. I mean, they did it with Kyrie. They traded for an expiring Kyrie and were able to re-sign him. So, I assume they'd be confident they can re-sign Siakam. But, again, Anthony Edwards on Minnesota. If you really think about it right now in real life, it doesn't make sense. So, don't think about it in real life. Think about it where they are in 2K. They're bad. I mean, I'm not saying they would just full-on sell Anthony Edwards. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess he would require an ask out. Does Edwards the type of guy that does that? I don't know. That's for the future, but he's the guy I want. If there's anybody I'm going to go all in on, it is Anthony Edwards. So Edwards with Barnes. I'm going to try to keep RJ on this team. So we'd move. So Barnes would be playing the 4. RJ would be playing the 3 still, and then IQ. So right now, yeah, I actually really like this. And Jakob Poeltl, I think, would be the perfect center to have down low, so we could keep him as well. All right, so we're going to try to do this. So, like, obviously, Powell's expiring contracts, so they would be getting a bunch of expiring contracts. So let's say, but we will have to throw in, like, not Josh Green, or, yeah, Josh Green, maybe. I wanted to be able to throw Grady Dick in here, but he's expiring at the moment. Koloko at 25 years old. Grady Dick, I think I'm also going to include Grady Dick in this trade. I think it's only fair if he was involved in it. But I can't at the moment. But the Timberwolves are selling right now, so I don't really want to have to come back to it. So Norm Powell, that matches the salary, of course. I'm going to give the 9th overall pick, this Mavericks pick, and also this other Mavericks pick. And honestly, I don't even know if this is enough for Edwards, but I would include even more in a separate trade just because I think that's how valuable Anthony Edwards would be. They say no. He is about okay, so they say they're not saying he's like untouchable, but he's not going to be in that trade. Okay. Clarkson, Gary Trent. I think we might have to talk to them after we get Grady Dick back, honestly. Right now, they're not even thinking about it. And I don't think if Booker has a bunch of value, which he's expiring too. So I have to talk to them after the draft at the end of the day. So let's go to the draft. We'll take whoever at 9. But Anthony Edwards is still the guy that's hot on my radar. So Ian Jackson, Steve Garuba. I don't know who would have the best trade value left. Let's go choose prospect again. So Nikola, 2K rank, all-star, Florin. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take Nikola here at the top of the draft out of Serbia. He'll be the guy that's maybe thrown in the trade. He's 75 overall. Player options accept both of those. Let's go try again on an Anthony Edwards trade. Okay, so now we can come back to the Timberwolves with an actual, probably way better offer with a bunch of young players involved. So Grady Dick, 2.5-star value. Nicolo just drafted 3-star value. It's going to help out a ton. Booker only has 1.5, so I don't think he really are. That's only 2.5. Sorry, not 3. Norman Powell, he's got 2-star trade value. Raptors pick, this Mavericks pick, and then even our other Raptors pick. So does this move the needle for them? They say no still. It's Norman Powell. I think we might have to include RJ in this trade. I didn't really want to have to do it, but if that means we get Edwards, I think I'd be okay with it. I also, Jakob Poeltl, wait. So we need 25 more million in this trade. So Powell's contract was the reason why that was able to go through. So maybe we just simply can't get Edwards. Like, quickly is going to be too much money. Okay, let's say we remove one of these. All right, let's go Norman Powell or Josh. Sorry, I just literally backed out of the trade. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. So Grady Dick, Pola, and then let's say it's Jordan Clarkson or Norman Powell, and then let's say it's Josh Green. So all that, and then you give me Anthony Edwards, and I will throw you this Raptors pick and this other Dallas pick. What do they say? No. Okay, I'll throw you this other Raptors pick. That's also 2-star. No. Okay. Norm Powell, Josh Green are not getting it done. I'll throw Jakob Poeltl in there. That's too much money for them now. So let's say it's not. Let's say it's Clarkson instead. Jakob Poeltl in the trade. They still don't agree. So Edwards. Maybe we can't make the trade yet. Maybe we just simply can't make the trade yet, and that's okay. We can wait till the deadline and sit on our hands. So we'll sign Scotty Barnes. We tried for Edwards. Did not work at the moment. So we'll get Scotty Barnes back, and we still have all these contracts. We can still sign another good player as well. So Gary Trent, Norman Powell, Jordan Clarkson, Grady Dick, Jalen Green, or Josh Green, sorry, and then Barnes, Kleba, and Koloko and Jakob Poeltl. One thing we definitely need is a better power forward. Give me Santi Aldama. Aldama, another contract we can use potentially at the deadline. We'll sign Aldama, and we'll strike at the deadline. So Edwards was not available, which I think is actually okay. Maybe Edwards wasn't the guy we get. There's going to be somebody for us at the deadline. No doubt in my mind there will be somebody. Everyone's developing and going up and overall, which is fantastic. We're going to see you at the next deadline because that is when we'll go all in. I think that is going to be when we push all of our chips in the middle of the table. We say, hey, we're going for it. I don't care what it takes. Whoever's available, bring them to Toronto. 3.5 balance at the moment. Here's your rotation. So it'll be quickly RJ, Gary Trent, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Aldama, Grady Dick, Chris Koloko, and Josh Green. All right. I will see you guys at the deadline, hopefully to make that move. We're at the deadline as we're 25 and 26, and I'm looking at 3 potential shooting guard candidates that we can bring to this team to hopefully improve this roster. So here are the 3 guys. It's no longer Anthony Edwards. He's listed as untouchable now, which honestly, I'm kind of glad because I think it's a little bit better that we don't get him. Let's start. The Blazers, Shaedon Sharpe, although they're pretty good this year, so I'm probably going to stay away from that, but Sharpe from Canada would have been a cool story to bring him in, but he's also making $8 million. So yeah, it'd be kind of tough. Well, it actually wouldn't be that tough to match the salary, but you get the point. So Jaylen Brown's also an option. We could bring him in, but I don't know. I don't hate it. One guy I was thinking about that I like literally almost never trade for is Desmond Bane on the Grizzlies. He'd actually be almost kind of perfect for what we need at the moment. I don't know what he's doing this season, but if the Grizzlies were willing to trade him, he's averaging 19 points per game on 39% shooting from 3. That would ultimately upgrade our 2 spot. And Barnes is the guy we're hoping to be the #1 option in a championship team. Bane is not a bad, like 2nd or 3rd option to have, really. So Bane is someone I'm ultimately considering as well. And then the last guy I was thinking about was, if I remember who it was it again? It was, I don't know why I'm blanking on who it was. It was, I don't know. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was between, or I know who it was. It was Jalen Green on the Rockets. Jalen Green on the Rockets. So he's been up and down, and obviously in real life, but in 2K, I mean, let's see what he's doing on 2K. He's averaging 20 points per game, 33% shooting from 3. So I really don't think we can go wrong with either option. And the Rockets are willing to trade him as well, or they're rebuilding, but they're pretty good. I think we're going to start with the Grizzlies. I don't ever get Desmond Bane, and he'd be the kind of guy that could help us win right away. So let's go see if we can get Desmond Bane. I hardly ever trade for him. So again, that's where these contracts come in. It's not like the most sexiest go all in kind of. I'm not moving Barnes, obviously, in this scenario, but this allows Barnes to still be like the #1 option, obviously, while we go ahead and also go in for Desmond Bane. And the most beautiful part is we probably don't have to gut our core at all because we have all these contracts. So Norman Powell, Jordan Clarkson, This Raptors pick, it's not good, or it's pretty decent right now, but I'm projecting that we're going to get better as the season goes along. What do you say for that? They're going to say no right away. 2 firsts would be like my ultimate. You know, they want another first, man. That's kind of rich for me. I'm not going to lie. But I guess if we're escaping without having to trade a single... I guess I'll do it. We'll do it. I guess we're escaping this trade without, you know, trading a single, like, rotational piece. Powell and Clarkson at this point, both bad contracts. We trade our own pick, a Cleveland swap, a second, and a first. We get Desmond Bane and a young player as well, and Bethea, who could actually be good in the future, and Antonio Reeves, who maybe could do something as well. We'll do this trade. Desmond Bane, welcome to the Toronto Raptors. So, Bane is going to slide to the 2. RJ is going to stay at the 3. Barnes at the 4. Jakob Poeltl, Emmanuel Quickly. I love this rotation. This rotation is about to look really good now. So Quickly, Bane as our shooting guard. RJ, Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Gary Trent, Aldama, Grady Dick, and Christian Koloko. This is a squad I would not want to see in the playoffs. Maybe this year we can go win a championship. Not banking on it, but I absolutely love the addition of Desmond Bane. I think he fits perfectly onto this roster around Scotty Barnes. That trade made us so much better. After the deadline, we just started winning a bunch of games. I don't know if we're going to win a championship, but Barnes makes an All-NBA 13, which you love to see. But I'm feeling pretty good about our chances of going pretty far here. We get the Knicks in round 1, which is honestly fun. I doubt OG resigned with him, though. Just feel like he probably didn't. But 26, 24, 19, 19, and 13. I mean, this is a really good squad. Toronto, or New York, I should say, in round 1. We did the video of them yesterday. They have Kyrie now. They don't have Brunson anymore, so kind of an interesting little swap that they did. They didn't keep OG, which obviously in real life they're going to re-sign OG. Leon Rose's son represents OG, and Leon Rose is like the president of the GM of the Knicks now. So, like, it's probably a guarantee that OG's re-signed with the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks would have done the trade if they didn't know that. So, let's see if we can beat them, though. Similar current round against the Knicks in round 1. We are going to beat them in... Just kidding, we lost in 7. Man, that sucks. I thought we were going to go on a crazy run. And we could have played the AC, the Knicks go all the way to the finals. This was our path, and we blew it. Knicks go all the way to win the championship. That is so unfortunate. Man, I feel like this would have been the offseason to go out there and win this championship. Really lost to them in round 1. That sucks, because the path was wide open there. It really looked that way. So... that sucks. Fall up short. I didn't think we'd go to a game 7 with them, but we did. All right, all good. You know, it sucks, but it is what it is. All right, draft lottery time. Don't think we have a pick from anybody, but let me just double check. So Grizzlies have our pick now. So both those picks we traded for Bane ended up being 23 and 24. I'm not too upset about that. Staff signing. We could fire Darko, but we just made the playoffs with him, so I'm not going to like totally blame it all on him. So let's just go straight to the draft. I don't think we have a pick in this draft at all, but just let me double check on that. Let's see. No picks. Okay. Player options. I mean, at this point, we're not going to be doing too much. I think we're just kind of banking on the team developing even further. Booker might be a huge piece next year as well. Max Kleba, not going to resign him. And then we don't have money to do anything too crazy this offseason. So I think we have our core locked in, honestly. Gary Trent, Desmond Bane, Grady Dick, Josh Green, Nikola might play next year. Yeah, we pretty much have our rotation. I even extended Jakob Poeltl as well. I mean, if there's one thing I maybe could do is upgrade the 5 even further if I wanted to really do that. We still have probably... I mean, I don't actually even know if we have an extra pick. We probably don't have any extra picks anymore, do we? We still have that Mavericks 2028 pick, so that could be maybe good. And that Clippers pick as well. So, I mean, I guess if there was a center that I could get as an upgrade, I maybe consider it. But I do like Jakob Poeltl's fit on this team as well. So I think I'll just leave him for now. If I feel like we need to make that upgrade at the deadline, we'll stop there once again. We've been really active at the deadline every time. Bane is down in overall, which kind of sucks, but he's still an 84. Not too discouraged by that. So we're going to go into the next season. I'm feeling pretty confident about our chances of being a contender. I really do. We won so many games last year, and unfortunately just lost the Knicks in round 1. I don't think that we're going to have a hard time winning a lot of games in the regular season. Of course, when the playoffs start, that's when things can change. But I like this lineup a lot around Scotty Barnes. I think it fits perfectly. Again, if there was one thing I could upgrade, it would be maybe the 5 spot. So if I do decide to upgrade that spot, I will show you. But for now, I will simulate to the end of year, whatever this is. I don't even know what year this is anymore. I really want to end this video with a championship. So we are going to unfortunately trade Jakob Poeltl here. I really want to keep him, but I just have a feeling if we don't do this, we're not going to win. And I don't think it's by Jakob Poeltl's fault by any means. So we are not blaming him. But At the end of the day, I think it's in our best interest to make an upgrade. So the two guys I'm looking at here is either Jarrett Allen, he's averaging 17 points per game, or another guy would be Porzingis on the Celtics right now. They're selling and they're very bad. $35 million, 19 points, 35% shooting from three. Really can't go wrong with either. Porzingis obviously would really make us contenders. We need $18 more million in this trade though. So that's where Josh Green comes in. And then we trade our own pick and then maybe even that Mavericks pick. And we go all in on Porzingis. What do you say? They agree. So Porzingis is our massive upgrade at the deadline. That is our way of going for it. So Porzingis will be that starting five now. And hopefully with Porzingis coming over, this team is ready to absolutely dominate the East. So just want to make sure we ensure a championship. Jakob may have been able to do that for us, but I just feel like I've been really complacent at times and I don't go all in. So here it is. Last time at the deadline, hopefully we're winning a championship and hoisting a Larry O'Brien trophy in these playoffs coming up. So at the end of this season, we win Coach of the Year with Darko. Does Barnes make not an All-NBA first team, but it does make an All-NBA second team. Obviously, we have one goal in mind, and that is to hoist that trophy. So let's make sure we do that. So let's go take a look at the player stats. Yeah, 24 from Scotty Barnes, 19 from RJ, 18 from Porzingis, 17, 6.5, and 12. I don't know what more I could do to ensure this roster can go win a championship. Again, Milwaukee in round one. They still have Damon Giannis, but outside of that, the roster is absolutely cooked. I mean, it really is. They have like Johnny Davis, Moses Moody, Monte Morris. That's cool and all, but I'm not intimidated. If we lose to the Bucks in round one here, I will never do a video ever again. So here we go. And thankfully, we just beat them. I would have been so upset if we found a way to lose that one. Okay, we get the Nets in round two. Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Cooper Flagg. This is a little bit of a better team. Jamal Murray as well off the bench. Mark Williams, Christian Brown. It's a solid team in Brooklyn. I'm hoping we're still better. I mean, I feel like we have a better roster than them. We'll see what happens, and we are going to beat them in 6. I thought for whatever reason they were about to come back on us, but now we get to Detroit Pistons. This is good old revenge for tonight from what happened. The Raptors gave up the Pistons their first win in like 28 wins or whatever it was, or 28 losses. Asar Thompson, Cade, Jalen Duren, Stephon Castle, Sasser. They no longer have Ivy, but we'll see what happens. Kate Cunningham is still a stud in his own right. Spurs and Mavericks on the other side, and we are going to cook the Pistons. We're in the finals. Okay. And now I get to play Wembanyama. So Russell, Kobe Walter, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Wemby, Nikola Top, and Jeremy Sohan. Game 1, 1-0. Game 2, they even it up. Okay. Game 3, 2-1. Game 4, we're going to a game 5. I did not think the Spurs would give us this much problems. I didn't really feel like the roster was that. I mean, we have a perfect matchup for Porzingis with Wemby. Like, both those guys obviously match up pretty well. So here we go. If we can win this huge game 5, we put ourselves in the driver's seat. But right now, we are going to barely win it by 2. We win in game 6. Yes, we do. We win a championship. Okay. Scotty Barnes is your finals MVP, and we're ending this video perfectly. Unlike yesterday, where I really disappointed everybody and I lost with the Knicks, never got a ring and sucked. But we got with the Toronto Raptors here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. A lot of fun in doing this one. Toronto, man, I'm so excited that they finally pulled the trigger on trading OG. Obviously, Siakam is next. We'll see what he is traded for, whether it's at the deadline or here soon. OG trade came out of nowhere. Both trades done. Happy New Year, guys. We are on to a brand new year. And of course, it is going to be grind time in 2024. Thank you guys for watching. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.